Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Tuesday webinar series on clean cooking solutions. This week, we are going to discuss about clean cooking solutions. As we all know, we are facing crisis in terms of availability of LPG and other fuel, and there's a lot of panic among people. Uh, there are new stories every day popping about how restaurants are not able to cater to the people, and every day we are facing a lot of issues. Uh, from SELCO Foundation, we were actually having conversations with vulnerable community institutions, our entrepreneurs, who um, who have livelihood basically in terms of roti rolling or other things where energy cooking solutions are required. It's a part of their day-to-day livelihood activities, and especially during this crisis situation, people are clueless. They're not able to understand what are the alternative solutions that could replace the need for LPG. uh, Many vulnerable community institutions like orphanages, old age homes catering to 100, 150, 200 people in Bangalore and around Bangalore were talking to us about this LPG crisis. They were paying 7,000 to 8,000 rupees per cylinder in this situation, and they wouldn't know when the stock would get over and when they wouldn't be able to feed people. So we thought this was the right opportunity, right moment to discuss about alternative, sustainable, and clean cooking solutions that we have worked on, and other available solutions in the market. Today, we have with us two esteemed guests. Mr. Vinay Patel, who is joined from Senior Manager, NDDB, National Dairy Development Board. And we also have with us Mr. Gajanan Patil from Urja Biosystems. So, and I have with me my colleagues also who will be taking you through multiple sustainable and clean cooking solutions. Welcome, everybody. I request the guests to stay with us until the end of the session. So we will be receiving questions. You can answer the queries and questions of people. Thank you so much. Over to you, Madhu. Yeah, yeah. It's fine. Now you'll be audible.
Yeah. So, namaste everyone. So, as we know that there are challenges for cooking solutions, there is alternative different types of technologies which are exist in the market. If you look at the biomass cook stoves, which are one of the ancient technique that we have been using, and so there are different if you look at any rural entrepreneurs or people are like very to old cases, like there is no energy efficient way of cooking technology. Like people just burn the biomass and they just use it, which produce a lot of smoke and which is not environmental friendly. And there are like different other optionals like biomass. Also, we will go through different models which are efficient, which ones can suitable for whom. What are all the different variants of technology? So these all the technologies will work based on the user context. Few technologies might be fixed for certain people where the raw material availability. Few might be, like wherever, let's say, if you look at a biogas, where there is a cow dung or kitchen wastage. So depends on the context where which is solution suitable for whom. So we need to understand the user criteria, type of cooking, the scale of cooking, and whether it is a domestic or commercial or availability of raw material. So certain factors are important to choose which technology is suitable for whom. Uh, so if you look at the electric cook stoves, there are a number of options which are very widely available and easy to accessible. And then solar cook stoves, if you look at right now, there are very limited options for directly using the solar cooking. But it is there is a cases where we can also integrate certain energy efficient technology into solar. And bioethanol cook stoves, which are like not like right now, it is not very easily available for a small scale users. But we need to understand what level of cooking and what's the suitability, user suitability, and so we will also go we'll go through deep dive, like understand certain technologies like the available models, suitability in terms of cost efficiency, the thermal efficiency, which one can be best for whom. Yeah, and we'll also listen from some of the expertise, specifically on the biogas. What do you?
Now I request Mr. Vinay Patel, Senior Manager, NDDB, to take us through the solutions. Will you be sharing this slides, sir?
I have already shared with you. I think if you can share.
Yes, yes. We'll access it. Just give us a sec. Full screen it, please. Sir, not this. It should be visible to you. Yeah. Can you please start the session?
Can it be on the, I think, full slide view or some way so that it can be?
Yes. Just give us a second. Yeah. It's full screen now. It should be visible.
Yes. So this is the first slide. Okay. Okay. So hope I am audible to everyone.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. So good afternoon, everyone. I am Vinay. I am basically a senior manager with innovation and project management cell in NDDB. We basically started this manure management or manure value chain journey in 2018. So I will say when there is a need to change the slide in between. So why dung? Because we are a national dairy development board and we supports the farmers. So we started in 2018 to provide additional income to the farmer, not just from the milk, but from the dung also, if it can be converted into the more efficient way, and through which if we can provide some income to the farmer. So we know that India is number one in terms of the animal holding. We are number one in terms of the milk production also. Similarly, we are number one in terms of the dung production also. So as per the one of the estimate, we do have a 1,100 million metric ton of dung getting generated in a year in India. And if we see that how this dung is getting utilized, so mostly it is used as a farmyard manure into the fields or farm. Followed by, we have seen there are various uses as a cow dung cake. There are other uses with respect to the dung. So these are the currently usage traditional way of using the dung. But what we are propagating at NDDB is that how this dung is converted into the fuel and fertilizer. So you can see into the model that if considering the present availability of the dung, if it can convert if we can convert the entire dung into the biogas as well as the fertilizer, we have the potential to fulfill the 50% of India's LPG requirement, and the same time 40% of India's NPK requirement. So if we talk about 50% of India's LPG requirement, it suffices 100% rural requirement of the LPG, if we talk about the number. Moving on to the next slide. Yeah. So then what we thought, let us focus on the biogas as a solution. But when we did the survey, we understood that the biogas is not a new to the India kind of a country, wherein we have seen that biogas were there before independence. After independence, various models have come into the place. Initially started with the fixed dome, then floating dome, then KVIC, then there are various models came into this entire journey. But what we focus, there are also community biogas plants, centralized biogas plants, which we will talk later on during the presentation. But we did a survey and we find out that if it is a household level plant, then farmers wants to have an ownership. They want to have a plant with a less capex, plant wherein they need to have a easy to installation kind of thing, easy to do the repair with a less maintenance kind of model they basically require. Another feedback which we received is the pressure of the gas, because the biogas is produced in the digester, small 2 cubic meter digester, and the consistency of gas pressure is required to efficiently cook the food. Another important aspect what we learned is with respect to the portability of the biogas plant. So farmer wants to have a portable biogas plants. Just to give you an example, if there is a joint family and there are 2-3 brothers are there who are staying together, and tomorrow the property is getting divided, so animals will go with the one farmer, house will remain with the another farmer within the joint family. So another important thing is which is required was portability of the plant. Then comes the biggest intervention which we did. So if we talk about the biogas plant, the biogas is getting utilized for the cooking purpose. But what to do with the remaining slurry? So when we interacted with the farmers, they want to understand more about the bio slurry as a manure. They want to understand it. They want to know, or they want to earn from the biogas slurry, apart from just a biogas plant. So wherein the intervention was required as far as the biogas plant concerned. With respect to community and centralized biogas plants, the focus was on the efficient disposal of the dung. So they will get a remunerative price from their dung. And if they can get some, utilize the output of the community or centralized biogas plant. So these were the concerns for the smallholder dairy farmers. Next slide. So for considering the requirement of the farmers, we focused on the flexi kind of biogas plant, which you can see into the screen. So these are small 2 cubic meter biogas plants made up of the flexi material. So it can be easily installed. No need to do the huge investment. No need of skilled manpower to go there and do the construction work, and then they can install the biogas plant. So these are a small flexi biogas plant wherein you just need to pit a dig, as you can see, and this is a prefabricated material. You just need to put up there in the pit and it starts functioning. So these are a small 2 cubic meter biogas plants wherein around 40 to 50 kg dung and equal quantity of water is getting fed into it. The gas, as you can see, there is a piping connection there, and you can see in one of the photo that lady is cooking the food. So this is how it is getting used. So daily they are feeding the dung, daily they are getting the gas, and they need not have to worry about the availability of LPG cylinder. They need not have to worry on collecting the firewood from nearby areas. They need not have to invest time on converting the cow dung into the cow dung cake. So these are the ways it is getting support, and because of this efficient way of utilizing dung as a biogas, they have a spare time wherein they focus on the some other economic activity. So we have seen that they started embroidery work. They have additionally earning from that. So in a nutshell, through this biogas plant of 2 cubic meter, approximately 1.5 to 2 cylinders of LPG gas is getting generated on a monthly basis. And the slurry is also, if you see, it is getting utilized through this slurry tanker cum applicator in this another photo in the screen. So this is how we promote the farmers to use the slurry into the field and the biogas as a cooking energy. So now moving on to the next slide. So considering these household biogas plants, we have developed a model wherein we have formed a cooperative, or we support the dairy cooperatives to have a centralized slurry processing unit, because you know that biogas is used for the cooking. There is a slurry is there which they can utilize as a manure into their fields. Still, if they have the surplus slurry, then they can supply this to the dairy cooperative, or they can form the manure cooperative. So one of the India's first all-woman manure cooperative got formed first in the nearby village to the Anand, where NDDB's headquarters is there. So there is Mujhkuwa Sakhi Khad Sahkari Mandli. So they started the operation initially in 2019-20, and now it is getting replicated across the country. And farmers are getting paid for the slurry which they supplies to the cooperative, and they are getting the income. So we will see that model in the upcoming slide. But once we started this journey, we started with the 25-watt biogas plants. Now we have almost 80,000 biogas plants got installed across the India in the span of 5-6 years. And to support these slurry-based fertilizers, we have this Sudan trademark, as you can see into the screen. We have registered as an NDDB. So we support the dairy cooperatives, NGO, and the FPOs who are working in this particular domain, so they can use this trademark. So there are some similar identity to the slurry-based fertilizers. And in a nutshell, these cooperatives or NGOs which are associated under this particular activity through NDDB and Sustain Plus as a program which is being run jointly by NDDB and Sustain Plus Energy Foundation, they can convert this slurry into the various fertilizer, as you can see, and they can again sell it to the farmers associated with them. So here it's entirely a different model. Though we have the experience working in the dairy cooperative sector, wherein we source the milk from the villages and selling it to the urban consumers, here the farmers who are supplying the slurry, they themselves are the consumers in a way. So farmers are playing the dual role. One is a producer and similarly as a consumer. Moving on to the next slide. So this is the unique procurement mechanism. So we have geotagged all the biogas plants into the particular geographies. We have a dedicated slurry tanker cum applicator, which we have designed for the lifting of the slurry and getting transferred from the different biogas plants to the centralized slurry processing center, as we have seen in the previous slide. So once the slurry tanker goes to any biogas plants, in the milk, we do the testing of the fat and solid not fat. Similarly, we have developed the testing mechanism. We have applied for the patent of this particular thing. So we suggest that the testing is being done before the lifting of the slurry, and based on the testing, as you can see this is the first time we have issued the passbook for the slurry sale also. And accordingly, the testing, whatever may be the testing of the slurry and the quantity, it is getting recorded into the passbook. And at the end of the month, the farmers are getting paid for the slurry which they sell. So if we talk about the numbers, then approximately 1,000 to 2,000 rupees additionally they get out of the slurry sale, apart from the usage of the biogas. So this is how the unique procurement mechanism got developed for the procurement sale of the slurry to the centralized slurry processing center. Moving on to the next slide. Now, this is a slurry processing activity wherein this slurry is converted into these solids and liquid. Again, solid is converted into the fermented organic manure and phosphate-rich organic manure, as you can see into the screen. And the liquid is further converted into the various fertilizers, which are in the liquid form. And again, this solid and liquid fertilizers are getting sold to the farmers, leveraging the local dairy cooperatives, NGOs, or FPOs network. Moving on to the next slide. So now we see that this slurry is converted into the fertilizer. So before converting into the fertilizers and providing to the farmers, we conducted various studies. So with the Anand Agriculture University, Benares Hindu University, we did these studies, and we found out that yes, these slurry-based fertilizers like fermented organic manure, phosphate-rich organic manure, micronutrient-rich liquid. Then we have various formulations for the root growth enhancer and some combinations with the seaweed extract. So we found out that yes, there are scientific evidence that these are the basically products which are basically benefiting to the farmers. And we did this scientific study. Then we did the demonstrative studies also across the different crops, different geographies. Then we did a systematic feedback for the 650 more than 650 farmers, and we found out that yes, there are substances therein. This slurry is converted into the value-added fertilizers, and it shows the very good results. So for us, this is not just a biogas plant, but this is also equally a manure plant for us also. So moving on to the next slide. So then we started focusing on the community biogas plants. We started with the household biogas plant. Then we converted into the cluster slurry processing center. Then then we converted. Once we established this model, particularly in Anand, then with the Sustain Plus Energy Foundation, NDDB, and Sustain Plus Energy Foundation replicated this particular household biogas model across the country. Now, what we are focusing is on the community biogas plants, wherein there is one biogas plant at a community level or at a village level, wherein the dung is getting sourced from the different farmers into the villages. And the farmers are initially getting paid for the dung which they supplies, which is in the range of 50 paisa to 1 rupees. Depends on the quality. We have also testing methodologies for the dung also. The dung is getting collected and offloaded into the community biogas plants. These community biogas plants, whatever the gas is getting generated, it is piped and provided to the farmers' households. So this is as far as biogas is concerned. With respect to the slurry, what we did is we have formed a local cooperative wherein they basically manage this entire operation, collection of the dung, then transportation, gas conversion, and supplying gas to the different households into the villages. We have one more cooperative, which is a district level cooperative, which can play a larger role. They can basically source this slurry from the community biogas plants. They can convert this slurry into the various slurry-based fertilizers, and then further they sells to their associated farmers. So this is how the community biogas model we thought of. And under NDDB Sustain Plus partnership, we are again replicating this particular model into the one of the village in the Surat. So this is how we are doing with the community biogas plant. Next slide. So this is a slightly larger biogas plants, which are of having a capacity of 4,000 to 5,000 cubic meter gas generation. And in this centralized model, what we thought of, the dung is getting aggregated from the nearby 15-20 villages, and the volume is up to the tune of 100 metric ton per day. And the farmers are getting paid for the dung which they supplies. Biogas, there are two usage of the biogas. One is industrial consumption. So we have one case of Varanasi dairy, wherein the entire biogas is used for the processing of the milk. So we have the plant which is run or which is operated or which is basically consuming the energy from the dung. So the dung is converted into the biogas, and biogas is used in the boiler to supply the energy for the large scale dairy plant. So this is one model. Second model is there in which we work with the Suzuki R&D Center India and the various dairy cooperatives across the Gujarat. So in which this biogas is further purified and converted into the compressed biogas plants. And this compressed biogas plant in a nature is similar to any other CNG. So it can be very well used as a vehicular fuel. So we are working with the Suzuki R&D Center to provide the rural mobility, leveraging the dairy cooperatives network. As far as the slurry is concerned, we have the same model wherein the slurry is converted into the fertilizer, and fertilizer is getting sold through the dairy cooperatives network to the farmers which are associated with it. But here the volume is to the very high level. So on a daily basis, 100 tons per day dung is getting procured and converted into the slurry, and slurry is getting sold in terms of the products to the nearby farmers. So this is how centralized model work. And be it a small biogas plant, be it a community biogas plant, be it a large scale centralized biogas plant, major revenue sources comes from the slurry. So the more efficient the dairy cooperatives or NGO or partner institution or end implementing agency is basically leveraging the cooperative network or the farmer base, then more viable would be the particular biogas model. So this is with respect to three models which we have developed. Moving on to the next slide. So now this is with respect to the scaling up of the sustainable and circular model. So on the 3rd March 2025, we have signed 25 MOUs with the different dairy cooperatives across 15 states. Then we have a again partnership with the Suzuki R&D Center India to scale up the large scale models. We have a partnership again, a very interesting partnership with the Sustain Plus Energy Foundation, wherein we focus on the decentralized renewable energy. To work in the focus manner, we have our own subsidiary, that is NDDB Mrida Limited, and which has a mandate to implement and upscale this manure management initiative. And recently we have registered a multi-state cooperative, that is Gomay Sahakari Samiti Limited. So the mandate of this multi-state cooperative is to scale the manure management initiative to support the farmers, to support the dairy cooperatives to come into this energy efficient way, or you propagating the different manure management initiative. In total, our focus is to convert the dung, or to see the dung as a commodity. So like NDDB worked since 1965 into the dairy sector, and India was milk deficit at that particular time. Now we are basically one of the largest milk producer, and we are self-sufficient in terms of the milk. Similarly, our focus is to commoditize the dung to suffice the energy as well as the fertilizer need of the India, because India is basically an importing country, and we see nowadays what are the challenges we are facing as far as the energy and the fertilizer securities are concerned. So these are the much needed steps on which we as an NDDB with our partner institutions like Sustain Plus Energy Foundation, we worked on the focused way. And I think this is the last slide. Anything further that? So yeah, and through this particular initiative, we are not just providing model, or we are not just creating a model wherein the farmers are only getting benefited. This is a model in which the farmers are getting benefited, our soil is getting benefited, our environment is getting benefited, our partner institutions are also getting benefited, and at the same time our government is also getting benefited if we promote this kind of an initiatives. Though these are the different ways in which these manure management models are basically benefiting to the entire ecosystem as a whole. I think with this, I would like to thank you for hearing me for last 15-20 minutes. Over to you, Akshata.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for shedding light on NDDB's work, extensive work on biogas solutions. We have a few questions. Chitra Narayan Swami is asked a question. Have you tried using kitchen waste instead of dung for flexi models for producing biogas? Any pilots or experiments using kitchen waste? So this was also one of the, sir, I think you're on mute. Yeah.
So there are farmers who are using kitchen waste along with the dung. But what we suggest is it is based on the farmers. Farmers are not only just using the cow dung, they are using cow urine also. So it is up to the farmers how they want to use this biogas plants, and depends on the availability of the waste. So that's what we suggest the farmers.
Yeah, in urban and peri-urban areas as well, people, it was one of the main queries we received as well about using kitchen waste as an alternative to cow dung. Yeah. So there's another question for you. Mr. Sanjeev Jain wants to know how the cost of the flexi biogas plant for 2 to 3 cubic meter and the capacity for the farmers. Also, he wants to know if there is any subsidy available, financial assistance from MNRE or any state government or NDDB support as well.
So this 2 cubic meter biogas plant is basically a biogas generation capacity. If we talk about the total capacity of the biogas plant, so it will be around 6 cubic meter. But since on a daily basis it is generating a 2 cubic meter of biogas, so we say it's a 2 cubic meter biogas plant. Most importantly, this biogas plant, the costing is around 30 to 35,000 rupees as far as the cost is concerned. Yes, there are subsidies available through the MNRE, wherein there is a national biogas program is there, which MNRE basically anchored, and there are 14,200 odd rupees subsidies available through the MNRE. Under NDDB Sustain Plus Partnership Phase 2, which is currently going on. So we are basically doing this installation in the cluster manner, and under the partnership, 20,000 rupees is basically a subsidy provided to the farmers. So these are the different ways or the different models available.
Also, for each of the models that you mentioned, starting from the flexi model to the community and the centralized model, are there? Have you specified the number of cows the community or the farmer needs to have and the quantity of cow dung?
See, household level, it is very clear that the size is 2 cubic meters. So the size of the biogas plant can also vary. So we generally focus that one animal generates around 10 to 15 kg of the dung in a day. So accordingly, and the biogas potential of the dung is 4 to 5% or 4 to 6%. So accordingly, you need to select the size of the biogas plant if it is a household biogas plant. If it is a community biogas plant, then you need to do much more study that what is the dung available in that particular region or particular village, and what is the gas requirement as a biogas which can be supplied to the farmers. And most importantly, there has to be some anchor dairy cooperatives or an institution which basically takes care of the slurry part. So that is what is important as far as the community biogas plant is concerned. For the large scale CBG plants, currently we are working on the 100 tons per day dung based CBG plants. So we see that enough of dung is available within the radius of 10 to 15 kilometers. So we need not have to incur a large transportation cost. So these are the few things we basically focus as far as this model is concerned.
And what about small scale plants, like household level? If people are producing koa, if they're using a small scale koa making machine, like household entrepreneurs, for them 4 to 5 cows should suffice, right? For them to utilize.
Yes. So it is up to the farmers. So these are the numbers which I have shared. So one cow is generating 10 to 15 kg. Now it is up to the how that particular farmer which is having the animals, how much dung is getting generated, and accordingly they can decide the size of the biogas plant. But you need to also be a cautious while designing the biogas plant or deciding the size of the biogas plant, that you are not only generating the biogas, you are also generating the slurry at the same time. So if you, based on the animal number, just based on the animal number, if you decide to go with the higher capacity biogas plant, then what to do with the extra slurry which is getting generated? So you need to see that there is enough farmland is available, or again, as I said, there are the role of the dairy cooperatives or institution comes into the play, wherein they basically procure the slurry from the farmers, convert it into the fertilizer, and then sells it. So this is how basically it works.
Thank you. Mr. Rakesh Roshan Mishra has mentioned that he has previously worked with Suzuki Motor Corporation R&D, and he's very curious to understand the entire R&D function. When can we know the results, possibilities of this collaboration?
Yes, how R&D function. So Suzuki R&D Center India is basically providing the funding support. So it's a unique model wherein the dairy cooperative is basically takes care of the operation part. NDDB's role is to provide the technical support, and the Suzuki's role is to provide the funds for the installation of the CBG plants. So this is how this tripartite agreement is there, wherein we worked with the Suzuki R&D Center.
Thank you so much, sir. Please stay with us until the end of the webinar. We might get more questions. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you.
Now I request Mr. Gajanan Patil, Managing Director, Urja Biosystems, to share the work that Urja Biosystems is doing. Mr. Patil?
Ma'am, 1 minute.
Sure, please.
Desktop है ना सब चल रहा है कट कर पहले
Sir, we are sharing the screen, so your presentation.
I'm putting up our presentation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is this? Should we stop sharing?
Yeah, you please stop sharing from there. I'm sharing from here.
Okay, sure.
Ma'am, is it visible now? Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir. It is. The screen is visible. Please make it full screen.
Yeah, it's a full screen, ma'am.
Okay. Please continue, sir.
Yes. Yeah, good afternoon, you all. Thank you, Vinay, by giving nice presentation. Yeah, myself, Gajanan Patil. I'm a Managing Director of Urja Biosystem Private Limited. It's a 21-year-old company in biogas. So far, we have installed more than 250 biogas and biogas-based power generation projects across India. We have an experience of establishing more than 15,000 family-sized biogas plants. Out of that, we did few with NDDB last year and around 3,000 projects with Sustain Plus. We also have an experience of 10 community biogas plants. So our experience of working with community biogas plant is different, that I will say later on. Yeah. Vinay ji has spoken about the potential. I will not take much time, but if we say, I just wanted to share the biogas generation potential. So cattle dung has the lowest potential of biogas generation compared to poultry, compared to food waste and vegetable and fruit waste. So Vinay ji has already said that if we convert only cattle dung, we can replace 50% LPG. But if we see the quantum of the municipal solid waste we are generating, 1,70,000 ton per day. Poultry manure, we have huge poultries in India and also goshalas. 1 ton of poultry manure generates 100 cubic meter biogas, whereas 1 ton of cattle dung generates only 40 cubic meter biogas. So the potential of generating biogas from poultry manure is almost 1.5 times more than the dung. Similar food waste. Food waste is having minimum 60 cubic meter per ton to around 80 cubic meter per ton generation potential per ton of waste. You will surprise, currently India is converting only 8% of our wet biodegradable waste into energy. 98% waste is still going to open dumping or landfill. So it's a very serious thing. And if we really think about this, we can generate a huge quantum of biogas to replace LPG, to replace power, to replace CNG. But here we all have to contribute, like segregation of the waste at source, then and then only the technologies will work further, otherwise it won't. So we all citizens of India have to play a very important role into the renewable energy. It's not like only government, they will play. Process Vinay has already shared. So I will be talking only on the stories and the model only. So although the topic is to replace the LPG for the cooking, but the philosophy of our company is totally different. We are no more saying a family-sized biogas plant is a biogas plant, but we are saying it's a small fertilizer factory. If we see the the advantage of this family-sized biogas plant, and we only not giving a biogas plant alone, we are giving a biogas plant along with a patented instant slurry filter, along with 2 vermicompost bags to collect the drippable liquid fertilizer. So this is a complete kit. So if we see here, when the farmer is putting 40 kg dung, he is getting 2 cubic meter biogas, which take care of the family cooking requirement of 5 to 6 people. By the same time, he gets 80 liters slurry out of this. Within 24 hours, he get 40 to 50 liters drippable liquid organic fertilizer, and the cake goes to the bag. Here, along with the other biomass, he's co-composting the cake along with the worms, and he's producing vermicompost. We have also given a technology of PROM, where we are giving a supply of rock phosphate and the inoculum, where the farmer can produce his biofertilizer along with the vermicompost at his doorstep. So this is the information about the return on investment. Along with the Sustain Plus, we have supplied around 2,400 this fertilizer factories during last 2 years. Here, if we see the cost of the complete unit along with 1 year support along with the worms is around 56,000 rupees. So where MNRE and Sustain Plus is contributing around 40,000 rupees. So we are charging only 16,000 rupees from the farmers. Now, again, that 16,000, if we see, he's saving his 12 cylinders a year worth of 12,000 rupees. Plus, he is producing 3 ton either vermicompost or PROM, and the cost, let's say 5 rupees per kg. So 15,000 rupees income from the fertilizer. Plus, around 14,600 liter drippable fertilizer, which just imagine 60 paisa per liter, so around 10,000 rupees. So out of the 55,000 rupees, only 12,000 rupees is coming from the saving of LPG, but 25 to 30,000 rupees per year is coming from the either saving or from the sale of fertilizer. So the revenue, more revenue is coming from the fertilizer compared to the biogas. So that's why we are calling it as a fertilizer factory, no biogas. So here we can see the return on investment when the farmer is investing 16,000 rupees, he is getting benefit worth of 37,000 rupees minimum a year. But the only condition to be a part of this scheme with us is this is a cluster development program. So we just cannot supply, an individual plant. But if a village want 20 plants, then we are ready with that, because we need to give them a service, technical service for next 1 year. And the CSR partners, they also want to monitor the success of this project. That's why the cluster development program is applicable for this type of benefit to the farmers. This year, we are putting up around 5,000 small fertilizer factories in partnership with Sustain Plus in Maharashtra. The first phase of the implementation has already started. Now, this is the cluster development approach. Now, in the first presentation, we have seen that NDDP is collecting the slurry with the help of tankers and processing the slurry at one central place. Our approach is different. Instead of collecting the slurry, we are collecting the cake from the farmer, so that every day we don't have to go there. He can store the cake, and once in a week he can hand over the cake to us. So actually this demonstration was done in one cluster in Nashik district, where 75 projects of family size were installed with 75 farmers, and they have formed one farmer producer company. So the cake they are collecting at one place, they are processing, converting that into prom, and they have their own brand of prom, and then by selling of this prom, they are generating the revenue. So this is a village Chonda at Gujarat. We did 2 projects on this model, where the cake is collected, getting processed. They have developed their own brand and generating revenue out of the sale of the prom. Biogas they are using at their own kitchen. The next model is biogas to power. Like we also have a family size biogas plant, then a medium size biogas plant where we are converting biogas into electricity. We are also supplying biogas for the milk processing in the boiler. So this is the example of one 500 cattle dairy farms at Baramati. Here 400 cubic meter biogas we are generating, and we are generating 500 electrical units per day, and that power is supplying back to the dairy for their chop cutter, for their fan parlors, for their milk processing. So around 80% of the energy need in terms of electricity of the dairy farms is being taken care by the biogas plant. Again, 20,000 liters slurry is coming out. Out of that, we are producing 2.5 metric ton prom, and the remaining liquid in the tanker we are selling to the nearby farmers at 50 paisa per liter. Here we don't want to go for the value addition, although we go for a value addition of slurry, but the cost of 5 rupees to 10 rupees may not be affordable to the farmers. But when we say it's a 50 paisa per liter, we are getting a good response, and farmers are using it happily at their own farm. We have around 95 projects like this in 18 states across India, only on dairy. This is the Goshala plant. We have around 7,000 Goshalas in India, and they are all dependent on the charity. So we tried to support them by generating the revenue from the dung. This Goshala is in Sri Ganganagar district of Rajasthan, where they have around 2,000 cattle. So 12 ton dung they are supplying to us. Similar, we are producing electricity. We are also supplying gas to the Goshala. Here we are manufacturing 4 ton prom and liquid fertilizer. Here, from the sale of the prom and the liquid fertilizer, whatever revenue generated, we are giving 50% revenue back to the Goshala, and with 50% we are managing our capital investment and our day-to-day operational cost. this is a poultry plant. We have thousands of poultries, and the poultry manure is creating lots of social nuisance to the nearby areas in terms of smell, in terms of flies, pathogens, and groundwater pollution. One bird, the layer bird, which deliver the eggs, one bird deliver 120-gram waste per day, and we have a plan for the poultry farm starting from 50,000 birds to 7 lakh birds at one place. So let's imagine this is a 20-ton plant. Here we have 2 lakh birds at one site. There they are generating 20-ton litter every day. So the disposal of it was a big challenge. We have converted that 20-ton manure into biogas. We are generating 2,000 electrical units given back to the poultry. And again, because the poultry manure doesn't have much solids left, so the liquid of the poultry manure is having more nitrogen compared to the dung slurry. So it is getting sold to the nearby area again at 25 to 50 paisa maximum. The return, this project was around 2.5 crore. MNRE given them 80 lakh subsidy. Government of Maharashtra has given them 40 lakh subsidy. So almost 50% subsidy they already received. So the return on the investment for them was maximum 2 years. Again, during the load shedding time, they don't have to bring the diesel. So huge diesel saving along with the power they are enjoying. This plant was constructed during 2017. Since last 8 years, we have generated more than 14 lakh units at this one site. So this is a very new concept we have launched. Now all we are, thinking about the EV. In rural area, ma'am, you already told me that, talk something which would be beneficial to the farmer producer companies. Compressed biogas projects are very expensive and they need minimum 100-ton waste per day. The cost is around 25 to 30 crore. So it won't be possible, to establish at a village level by collecting the farmers together like farmer producer companies. But now we have the electrical bikes, we have electrical cars, we have electrical buses, we also have electrical tractors. Yesterday, there was a news in Maharashtra that farmers are not getting diesel. So all the farming things are getting delayed because of the shortage of the diesel. But now just think about this. What we are saying that carbon neutral, off-grid EV charging stations. We don't need grid. All villages have done food waste, vegetable waste, agricultural waste. If we bring that waste, because ma'am, the community thinks, although Vinay has said, but my experience is different. We demonstrated 15 community-based biogas plants, which is owned by the government. But after 6 months, we have realized that out of 15, my only one plant is operational. My 14 plants are not operational. It was a waste of time and waste of money of the government because no one was ready to take the responsibility to operate that plant. So what we are proposing is an energy entrepreneurship model. Let's say you have the farmer producer company or self-help group in the village. Let them put 20%, 25% investment. Government is supporting with the help of Govardhan or some other schemes are there. So if they take the ownership of this model and if they collect the waste with some amount, they can have the EV charging stations. They can first of all supply the gas for the cooking. They can generate the electricity. They can put the EV charging stations. And also we have a technology now where the biogas can be directly fired to operate the cold storage. No electricity is required in the village. To operate 20 metric ton cold storage, we need only 2 units of electrical power in 24 hours. You can operate the ripening chamber, cold storage, and dehydration with the help of biogas. So biogas is helping for the waste treatment, energy generation, employment generation, fertilizer generation. Yeah. Now you must have heard about that 5,000 plants are proposed for the CBG in India. Now 190 established, many of them are having a problem of raw material supply. So here is a role for the farmer producer companies. If we see Maharashtra, only 6 to 12 districts have a sugarcane belt where the farmer is getting a assured income from the sale of the cash crop like sugarcane. But rest of the Maharashtra, they don't have. So Napier grass is a very good source of income to the farmer producer companies and even to the farmer, where 1 acre can definitely give him 70 to 80,000 rupees, irrespective of natural calamities or any problem. So he can sustain, his family can sustain. So here now companies like Reliance, Adani, so many big corporates are setting up compressed biogas plants in rural part of India. So there, as a source of raw material, in Napier grass as a source of raw material they can supply, and this is the calculation like 1 acre land can produce 150 ton of Napier grass. Every cutting is after 3 months. So the farmer could get minimum 70,000 to 1 lakh rupees, and he can get a money every 3 months. Not like sugarcane, he has to wait for 12 months and then the sugar industry will pay him back. So here the farmer producer companies and the farmers can think of cultivating energy crops if they have the CBG plants in their area or maybe upcoming plants in this area, in their area. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing insights on your work on biogas models. Mr. Vinay Patel has an input uh, on the biogas plants, community biogas plants.
Sorry, I defer to what Gajanan has already said on the community biogas plant. Our experience is for any biogas plant as a model to work, the local institution support is very much essential. Without that, there have been many fixed dome or floating dome biogas plants got installed in the country. But if we see the working of even a small biogas plant is also, everyone knows the facts. So that's where the role of local institution plays there. And for us, if it is a strong community connection is there and institution is there, then and there the biogas plant will be a successful. Otherwise, the ownership will be a big challenge in case of the community biogas plant. And especially as mentioned through the government scheme or somewhere, you can install the biogas plant. But who will take the responsibility for the operation of the same biogas plant, which is on a day-to-day basis, because you have to feed the biogas plant. It is just like a stomach. You need to feed it so that you can work on it or it can work. If you don't feed, it won't work. So that operational responsibility needs to be managed by the anchor institution, and most importantly it is local institution whose role is very important as far as the operational responsibility is concerned. So that is my take on the community, or as far as the CBG plant is concerned, or a household biogas plant is concerned.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the suggestions. I request Supriya to take us through the. Okay.
We'll just put the
Next slide.
So as we know that specifically biomass cooking technologies, which are very popular due to this crisis, a lot of happen. If you look at many small scale hotels and restaurants started using biomass cook stove technologies, and even in Bangalore, a lot of PGs started using these biomass technologies. Even in terrace they are cooking and using this, and there is a huge rise in terms of the adoption of this biomass cooking technologies. And in terms of the working principle and the raw material input, there are few categories, the type of biomass technologies for there. And there's if you look at the technology, there is 6 variants. So there's a natural draft improved cookstoves where there is no airflow or anything, which works naturally, where we keep firewood as an input. And then there is a rocket stoves, which is basically a forced draft stoves where it has a uh, exhaust fan basically, which controls the air, the flame and airflow, which is a bit more efficient than general the traditional firewood input. And then there is other model, gasified model, where it converts the firewood or charcoal or any pellets into a gas. And there is a pellet stove basically, which is more efficient than a regular firewood. So where the agri wastage or firewood or certain dry material, it converts into pellets, and the pellets are being used to feed the stove. And there is institutional and community-based cholas where it is more on customized, understanding the need base. We can able to customize the cholas, like how many pots required, how much flame. Based on the vessel, also the diameter. Manufacturers could able to customize it based on the vessel sizes, so that we can use the firewood efficient way. And then mud or brick constructed ones, which are also similar kind of cholas. Moreover, like we need to understand the user requirement, type of cooking, the capacity of the cooking, and the availability of raw material. Moreover, it matters. We also mapped out lot like the suppliers across the states, and where who could able to supply the biomass cook stove technologies, and which starts from very small scale to small and medium range scale, like where it can be customized based on the user need. So if you look at, there are different versions as we talked about, like the natural ones where you just feed the firewood, and it can be either for domestic or retail, or in a small scale people it can be suitable. And then the yeah and so there are different variants. It is all depends on, as I said, the type of cooking and where it can be applicable. We have a long list of suppliers. If any, I mean, there is a email ID, contact details are there. If anyone want more information about what kind of technologies would be for them, can get in touch with them and understand and choose the best type of model which is suitable for user. What is Priya, and we can also talk about the financials, which is the cost comparing the what is.
Hello everyone, my name is Supriya, and I'll just quickly explain the cost model what we have formulated based on certain assumptions. And the first one being that we have considered that we are presenting the cost model for a micro retailer like a small tea stall or a snack vendor who is consuming 4 LPGs per month at a rate of 1800 each, that is your commercial LPG, 19.5 kg. And earlier, even Akshita said that in black market, the price is double or triple the current price that the LPG is being sold at. So if you consider the annual LPG spend by this particular vendor, it would be 86,400 annually. So I'll just tell the 5 options cost breakup. So the capex for a solar cook stove would be around roughly, the higher end would be 23,000. So if you consider the annual OPEX, wherein we have considered the electricity cost based on 8 to 10 per unit. So his monthly expense would be 350, annually it would be 4,200. So if you look at the net savings, it is 82,200, based on which the payback period is roughly around 11 months. And next would be the induction stove, which is of minimal capex, that is 4,000. And here again, the annual OPEX would be the electricity charges. So monthly expense is 3,500. Annually, it would be 42,000. So the payback period here is around 3 months, 3.5 months. Third one is the biomass. The capex is on an average it is 50,000. It can be more. So, and here the biomass can be either the processed pellets or the wood. Processed pellets being at a little higher range, that is 12 to 14 per kg. I have accounted for the pellet cost, and the annual OPEX would be 42,000, and the payback period is 3.8 years. I just want to add something here. We have calculated the payback period. For the payback period, we have calculated the net savings. We have considered 30% of the net savings so as to keep a financial buffer, accounting for all the seasonal fluctuations or the maintenance downtime. Fourth one is the ethanol cook stove, wherein the capex is 10,000, and the OPEX expenditure would be on the bioethanol liquid, which is sold at 65 to 70 rupees per liter. So the monthly expense is 5,600, and annually he would be then saving 18,400 with a payback period of 1.8 years. Biogas, we have considered capex to be 50,000, and the payback period is 2 years. But then again, I would recommend everyone to refer the breakup that was presented by one of our esteemed guests, Mr. Gajanan Patil, because he had a precise estimation wherein he has accounted even for the fertilizer savings, which is a huge amount of savings, 37,000 or just on the fertilizers annually. And the payback period there was less than 1 year. So that would be much preferable. And this is just the comparison table wherein we will look at all the 5 options against the capex and their payback period, with induction stove being the minimal and second being the solar cook stove. Over to Madhubabu.
All the sources we had long listed, the suppliers across the states, either it is a cook stove, solar cook stoves, or biomass, or biogas. You can get in touch with them and understand, what suits for based on your context, because there are so many options, and based on the region, whether it is urban or rural or type of cooking, it depends on the user criteria most matters. So like vendors could able to guide you what exactly suits as per your requirement. Yeah, we will be sharing this deck over online, and you can able to get in touch with the right manufacturers.
Thank you, Supriya and Madhu, for sharing insights on the vendor list and taking us through the business models. Are there any questions for Mr. Gajanan Patil or Mr. Vinay Patel?
Sorry? Hello?
Okay, just have one question, from Mr. Sanjeev Jain. Why solar cook stoves, box and dish type is not being popular for cooking needs in rural and urban areas? As plain cooking option? Madhu?
Yeah. So I think solar cooking, I think the older technology, like the parabolic or, the older things, which are not very, I don't know, which are not very compatible for all the users. Somewhere I think these are a bit outdated, I would say. And then now, if you look at, there are a lot of other energy efficient electrical technologies are there. And then Indian Oil has developed one of the R&D they have done, and they had developed this box type solar cook stoves. Yeah, but still, and whether it is how flexibly available for small scale users, still I think need a lot of inputs from the team to understand what level of how it is effectively efficient and feasible for small scale users.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us today to discuss clean cooking solutions. I hope the solutions that we discuss are not a part of crisis management, but they could be added to our day-to-day livelihood activities. We will share the deck and other details with you over an email. Thank you so much. Continue to join us on Tuesdays for all the upcoming webinars. And I also would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to Mr. Vinay Patel and Mr. Gajanan Patil for joining us today and sharing insights on various biogas models. Uh,
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, ma'am.